and let us all do we can to build a better future.
AOC. This segment's about AOC. AOC is now, well, she's going to thread carefully with Biden ahead of 2024. What's going on with AOC? Let's talk about AOC. Let's talk about it. Well, apparently, AOC, our lovely AOC, has a little bit of a situation. It's a sit rep. So, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC, is walking a fine line when it comes to President Biden, endorsing him ahead of the 2024 election, while also criticizing some of his policies and staying silent on what her role will be on the campaign trail heading into next year. Why AOC is going to be the biggest cheerleader ever. She'll be dancing and singing and saying, we got to vote blue, guys, come on. It's about the ebbs and flows. It's a macro and the micro, the micro and the macro. The progressive Congresswoman confirmed earlier this year that she would back Biden, pointing to the threat of another possible, you guessed it, Donald Trump presidency. Oh my God, it's Trump. It's Trump. If you're a liberal, get ready to run. Get ready to run into the field, run into the streets, because I just said the word Trump and it's going to trigger you. That decision to put the speculation she might support a primary challenge to the president. So, oh my goodness, she's not going to support a primary challenger. But AOC hasn't said whether she plans to act as a campaign surrogate for Biden like her fellow progressives in Congress, including Senator the cuck, spineless, nutless wonder Bernie Sanders and Representative Ro Khanna. Yeah, that guy, progressive Ro Khanna. Okay. And she's been vocal about her differences with the administration over parts of their agenda. Yeah, vocal, but doing anything to change the system? No, she's not going to do that. In what world are you living in where AOC is going to really challenge the Democrats? She's not going to do a goddamn thing. Continuing on, while the president and AOC may not agree on everything politically, I believe that their disagreements make their alliance even more powerful. Oh, shut up. Listen to this person. Hassan Martini, a Democrat strategist who runs a group, No Dem Left Behind. All right, that's a bunch of BS. That official embrace of Biden in July, just 3 months after he announced his candidacy, was seen as a good faith gesture for what's expected to be a close and potentially volatile race. She was showing, in effect, a willingness to use her star power to help elect someone whose brand doesn't necessarily align with her own. So in other words, you know what this says to me? AOC is willing to use the last remnants of good faith and her star power to boost up Joe Biden, who's been on the wrong side of history. Joe Biden, who's been leading this ridiculous war and funding billions of dollars into Ukraine. Joe Biden, who voted for the war in Iraq in 2001. Joe Biden, who sided with the credit card corporations to make student debt what it is. Joe Biden, who signed, again, the devastating criminal act in the 90s with Bill Clinton, which helped lead to the incarceration of black people and Latino people in the United States and the increase of the prison industrial complex. Joe Biden, who was against busing and desegregation. Joe Biden, who didn't want his white kids to be with black kids. Joe Biden, who not only let Roe v. Wade die under his administration's watch, but also was against Roe v. Wade from the very beginning, even when he started his political career, because he didn't believe in a woman's right to choose. Joe Biden, who browbeaten and verbally yelled at Anita Hill. Yeah, that Joe Biden. The same Joe Biden who said he'd gladly prostitute himself to corporations. Brilliant. Brilliant move there, Democrats. Continuing on in discussing her support for Biden, AOC said in an interview with the podcast, Pod Save America, over the summer, that there are ebbs and flows during his administration, but ultimately chose to highlight the high points. He's done quite well given the limitations that we have. Yeah, let's have democracy in the chat. Type 1 if you think Biden's done well. Type 2, what are you talking about? He hasn't done shite for us. Everything's getting miserable. Her ideological differences with Biden are certainly not a secret. Some of her biggest grievances have come over disagreements on immigration. Really, AOC, are you going to protest at the, facilities that have the kids in cages still? Are you going to do that like how you did with Trump? Make that sad face. Make the sad face. No, probably not. Energy, the environment, where a generational clash of worldviews has caused friction between the 33-year-old Congresswoman and the 80-year-old president. Yeah, right. There's a clash between them. In a recent New York Times interview, AOC pointed to Biden's approach on the migration crisis and southern border as a point of serious contrast. Immigration is probably this administration's weakest issue. Really, AOC? This is one area where our policy is dictated by politics, arguably more so than any other. Wow. AOC. What about those kids? You gonna bring alarms about that? No, probably not. But you got time to talk about sunscreen, though. There are clear recommendations and suggestions that we have made to the administration to provide relief on this issue. And it's my belief that some of the hesitation around this has to do with the fear around just being seen as approving or providing permission structures, or really just the Republican narratives that have surrounded immigration. Again, Joe Biden and Kamala the Cop Harris have continued on with a lot of Trump's domestic and foreign policies. But for the second consecutive presidential cycle, those disagreements are being downplayed to some degree out of concerns that Trump or similar right-wing contenders will win. Where she wants to go further on the border, Biden's allies have taken a step back, and progressives have been frustrated by the lack of unison and clarity. I see criticism that she takes from every possible direction, left, right, center, you name it, because she's earned it, because she's a hypocrite and a fraud. AOC has expressed some discontentment with the job at hand. There have been times where this work has been extremely challenging. No, you have time to go do Vanity Fair and Met Gala events. No, AOC, don't give me that. Don't give me that crap. I didn't know if I would survive in this position. It's a very great responsibility. Oh, wow. The divided Congress has been challenging for progressives who have implored Biden to keep moving leftward as much as he can. He's not moving leftward. In the areas where he's been able to use the executive branch's advantage, many credit him for going further than where he has been as a longstanding Senate centrist. They see his ability to adapt as reflective of the party's broader shift, which has evolved on things like the $15 minimum wage, and decriminalizing cannabis, both policies Biden plans to campaign on in 2024. Wait a minute. Hold up. When has he evolved on a $15 minimum wage increase and decriminalizing cannabis? Hold up. When has he done that? No. No. First of all, the only people who have been leading the decriminalization of cannabis for recreational and medical use have been politicians at the state level. Biden might put in some words here and there, but he has been against it. He could sign an executive order right now to make cannabis legal in the United States. Okay, he could do that through executive order. Let's not be stupid here. He's not. And at $15 minimum wage, yeah, he's not doing anything about that either. Never forget when Cinema did her little curtsy thumbs down in 2021. And since then, hey, has your wages increased under Biden? Type 3 for, oh, yes, it has. It's been great. Type 4, no. And inflation's also stabbing me in the back, too. AOC has often been at the forefront of those. No, she hasn't. And has faced backlash from establishment Democrats for pushing an agenda they believe is too liberal in some swing states and districts. She has not been in the forefront. Where was she for forced to vote for Medicare for all? Where was she for the March for Medicare for all? Where was she for the 3-day General Strike Summit meeting? Where was she for the Fight for 15? All that taking place in 2021 and afterwards. Nowhere. Anticipating a bitter battle next fall, Democrats have warmed to the idea of having a range of voices from the party spectrum stumping for Biden at the top of the ticket. But it remains to be seen how far AOC will go to help the president win re-election. Hey, listen to these two stooges. Sanders and Khanna, who respectively represent the old and new guard, the progressive wing on Capitol Hill, are providing a roadmap for what the roadmap can look like. The two liberals were seen in New Hampshire recently talking up the re-election case for Biden and warning about the dangers of Trump-aligned GOP. Sanders, who competed against Biden in 2020, has been seen as an ally for this administration because he's a cuck. And Khanna, who has national aspirations for his own, has shown deference to the president while traveling to the states like Iowa and South Carolina. As with Sanders, Democrats believe AOC can come in handy with fundraising. She has reliably inspired people from a variety of backgrounds to give small donations to help candidates get over the finish line. Stupid. My God. While some Democrats say she's less novel as a surrogate this cycle, they believe she can help give a boost in places like state parties. All right, hey, let's have democracy in the chat again. Type 5 if you think AOC will be a boost for these politicians and the Democrat cause. Type 6 if she's going to hinder everything and sink it because no one believes a goddamn word she says. I'm having a freaking migraine just reading this. Still, there's some lingering skepticism about the influence of high-profile Democrats when the Electoral College and a handful of battlegrounds will ultimately determine the control of Pennsylvania Avenue. Hey, by the way, Democrats, are you ever going to do anything about, that thing called the Electoral College? Yeah, probably not. Probably not. Probably not. Probably not. Probably not. We're not going to see anything like that. I literally can't believe this. She has the audacity to talk like this. For Democrats who see Biden winning the general election, some still believe he needs all the help he can get. There's an underlying concern about totally unpredictable factors, including the timing of Trump's court dates and the status of his mounting indictments. A potential third-party spoiler, which again, third parties don't spoil anything. Third parties, how can you spoil something that's already rotten? And by the way, again, for Vote Blue, no matter who, third-party candidates aren't stealing votes away from Biden. They're earned, okay? My vote isn't the property of Biden or the Democrats. You got to earn my vote. And I'm not going to vote for somebody who's been on the wrong side of history. I didn't vote for Biden in 2020. I didn't vote for Hillary in 2016. And I don't intend to. I'm going to vote third party and independent like I've done so in the past. And if that offends you, well, then, yeah, I'm not a good person. I encourage my audience to do the same, to vote third party, to vote independent. And you know what? I have some audience members that are burnt out by electoral politics. So, yeah, if they don't want to vote, I respect their decision. Heaven forbid I ever get 1 million+ subscribers on this channel because, my goodness, I am going to encourage people to think freely and break away from voting Democrat and Republican because, obviously, if you're voting Democrat or Republican, in my mind, you are nothing more than a victim of domestic abuse. And that's how I'm going to look at you. You're a victim of domestic abuse. You haven't gotten over the fact that your partner, be it a Democratic politician or Republican politician, is cheating on you, abusing you, like how AOC is doing to her constituents. I'm on my anti-hero arc. I'm going to have some fun. Again, those concerns have caused the party to consider how their broad bench could be used most effectively in a close contest. They see Dr. Cornel West, a progressive, who's running on the Green Party ticket, as particularly worrisome. See, Bernie, you can have power and challenge the system. Dr. Cornel West is showing you how it's done. Hey, AOC, this is how it's done. The decision from Sanders, from whom West served as campaign surrogate, and AOC not to endorse the Harvard leftist, also provides the element of loyalty to getting Biden reelected. Loyalty that gets you nowhere, and progressives have gone nowhere with Biden. Something that was less apparent in the early phases of past cycles. If West is in the race, then the leading voices of the progressive left, like AOC, will matter in keeping his vote total small while juicing turnout for Biden. If you are a third-party supporter or we're on the fence about being a third-party supporter, I hope it will boost up your confidence to more so to really get involved more. Because, look, again, they say if Cornel West is in the race, then the leading voices of the progressive left, like AOC, will matter in keeping his vote. It will matter in keeping his vote total small while juicing turnout for Biden. Ultimately, presidential races are decided by the vast ideological middle of the electorate, but Ralph Nader and Jill Stein prove that even a small insurgency from the left can be decisive. AOC's voice will be needed in that situation. You want to know what AOC's voice will be needed in that situation? It will be needed to silence people. Don't you see? These last two paragraphs right here. The liberals, the vote blue no matter who, the blue MAGA people want AOC to silence third-party voters. She's going to be instrumental in trying to bully people or caress and gently nudge people into the Democratic Party again. Don't let these bastards sucker you in. This is what AOC wants to do to you. She's going to look you in the eye and say, oh, yeah, you're pretty. You're nice. Oh, the Democratic Party's totally clean. You spend the night with the Democratic Party, and then all of a sudden you got a bunch of STDs on your wing bone. That's the perfect analogy for it. Okay? This is who the Democratic Party is. They're going to lie to you. And they're worried about what? Dr. West being another Ralph Nader and Dr. Jill Stein. Third parties haven't won an electoral college vote in quite some time. Okay? Dr. Cornel West isn't stealing anything from Biden. He's earning the votes. Same thing for a libertarian candidate. They are earning the votes. AOC, the Democrats have done nothing to earn my vote. And I encourage my audience to think freely and independently. I want to pull up this tweet here from Ryan Knight. The fact that Biden and Democrats continue to brag about an economy where both hunger and homelessness have increased shows that they don't care about the downtrodden and only care about how well their corporate donors are doing. Food insecurity has increased by 18% since 2021. Look at that. Number of U.S. adults without enough to eat. 2021, 2022, 2023. Boy, oh boy, the hits just keep on coming. It's going up, 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 and up under this administration. But don't worry. I have a solution. Ryan Grimm's going to write a book. I wonder if AOC will sign Grimm's personal copy. Dear, dear Ryan, thanks for writing this book, worshiping me, and for never asking me any hard questions when we do interviews. It's like ebbs and flows, the macro and the micro. Now, if you excuse me, I have to go ahead and face off against the haters on Twitter because they all want to date me. Because after all, look at this book. See, Fat Tony, you got to run for your money because it looks like Ryan Grimm, the squad, AOC, and the hope of a political revolution. Look at all these heavy hitters. You got Rashida Tlaib. You got Cori Bush, Jamal Bowman, Anna Presley, Ilhan Omar, and then finally, last but certainly not the least of them all, AOC. I mean, come on. But see, there's another thing too. I got this article from RT just to trigger the vote blue no matter who people. Here's something about Biden. Biden fears being perceived as stupid. Biden fears being perceived as stupid. The author of the new book has claimed that the U.S. president has insecurities related to his 1987 plagiarism scandal. More than 3 decades on from the plagiarism scandal that torpedoed his first campaign for the White House, Joe Biden remains insecure about how people perceive his intelligence. One of the things that's so interesting about Joe Biden is that he has these insecurities that govern a lot of the ways in which he moves through the world, said Franklin Foer said on NBC News interview. And so one of his many insecurities is that he doesn't want to be perceived as stupid because he had this plagiarism scandal in the 1980s. As a result, Foer said Biden insists on thorough preparation before interviews and press conferences. Wow. Hey, all those press conferences, Biden has been thoroughly prepared. So he can have mastery of the topics that he will be discussing. His prep sessions can go on for long periods of time. That's how you know this is a lie. I think we've all been seeing Biden's preparations. Case in point, his little talk to the people of Maui when he compared his house being on fire to the people of Maui losing everything. Hey, Biden campaign, Biden administration, Democrats, how many hours do you think were put into that? That's a lie. That's a goddamn lie right there. That's a stupid goddamn lie. Biden became a laughingstock when he got caught plagiarizing the speeches of other politicians while campaigning for president in 1987. Media outlets also reported that he lied about his academic record and his involvement in the 1960s civil rights movement. Yeah, he was not there. In one infamous encounter with voters, Biden insulted the intelligence of a man who questioned his credentials. He also bragged that he had gone to law school on a full academic scholarship, earned 3 degrees, finished in the top of his class, and was named outstanding student in the political science. All these statements were false. As president, he has continued to make false claims about his background, including the civil rights activism in the 1960s. Remember when he said he was arrested with Nelson Mandela? All these lies. AOC, Bernie, I could tell that you two don't have a single ounce of integrity in you when you're going to bat for this liar. I guess that blue DNC wang bones all the way up your wazoos. My goodness. The author goes on to say that Biden has also seized over his low public approval ratings, Foyer said, largely blaming the media for failing to show all the ways his administration has been superior to that of his predecessor, Donald Trump. Wow. AOC, Bernie, Ro Khanna, vote blue no matter who. You guys are a bunch of failures in my book. That's how I'll describe you guys. Way to go. And once again, showing all of us why we should not take you seriously at all, period.